last night, the Los Angeles Lakers and the LA Clippers got it going in the bubble, the Battle of LA, but this time it was in Orlando, in the bubble, and the Lakers beat the Clippers 103-101. LeBron James had 16 points, 6 of 19 shooting from the floor. Anthony Davis showed up, 34 points. Kawhi Leonard, 28. Paul George, 30. So, as you know, opened up the show today, Clarence, with the Battle of LA, and that being the first official game that actually counts towards teams' records and so forth. What was your biggest takeaway from the Battle of LA last night?
Well, it came down to the last minutes, and we knew, me and you both know that we was in a good game ahead of us. So we got what we asked for, and we was watching it, and it was a good game. It was a good game. But my biggest takeaway from here is LeBron James, like, he played a serviceable, in my opinion, a serviceable game. And last night with his 16 points from 6 from 19 shooting, he was shooting poorly. He didn't have a good shooting night, but he was very serviceable with 11 rebounds and 7 assists. And here's the other thing: Anthony Davis played tremendous. Anthony Davis, he had a good game that helped benefit him to win the game. And for Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, they were just heating it up, 58 points combined, and it was an incredible game we was watching from both teams. But I was more excited that the Lakers got the victory and LeBron James closed it out with a putback layup from his own shot. So that is something to be more excited about, Trey, man. Like, the Lakers, they even tied up the season series 2-2. So it's very interesting to see what these two teams go be and play in the playoffs. So my biggest takeaway, like, LeBron James came in the clutch again.
Boy, let me school you on what the biggest takeaway that you should have had last night after watching that game. My biggest takeaway is everything that I've been telling you all season long. Last night was a prime example as to why the Clippers are going to beat the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals, Clarence. Because last night, the Lakers, what they get? Let me look at these numbers. They got 34 from Anthony Davis. They had some clutch moments from LeBron James late in that basketball game. I think Deion Waiters even dropped 13 or 14 points, so he contributed as well. They did all of those things effectively, and they still only beat the Clippers by 2 points. And you gotta remember, the Clippers are without two of their best 4 players, Montrezl Harrell and Lou Williams. So if Lou Williams and Montrezl Harrell play in this game, I believe the Clippers win going away, because this was a game where the Lakers, to me, they maximized their potential. They showed what kind of team that they are, and they put everything on display, and they played Laker basketball. And even playing Laker basketball, they still only beat the Clippers by 2 points. And in this particular game, if I'm not mistaken, the Clippers turned the ball over 20 times. They had 20 turnovers in this game, and they still only lost by 2 points. The Clippers are by far, my bad, my phone failed, man. I was trying to turn my phone. The Clippers are by far the better team. They are the deeper team. They're the better coached team. The Lakers have 2 of the top 5 players in the NBA in LeBron James and Anthony Davis. And Anthony Davis and LeBron James will show up when the moment presents itself. But I don't believe they have enough to beat the Clippers, a team who has depth, a team who has playoff experience under their belt, and Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Doc Rivers at the head coaching spot, Tyronn Lue won a championship as well. I think last night's biggest takeaway for you and other Laker fans should have been, even at our best, we can't beat the Clippers because they had 2 of their best 4 players out and only lost by 2 points.
Look, yeah, they missed a lot. They missed 40 shots. They missed 40 shots in the game yesterday by the bench. And like the absence of Montrezl Harrell and Lou Williams, it hurted the team. It hurted the team because they didn't have that third and fourth option off the bench doing all the scoring. So when I look at this, let me look at this Lakers team. They played tremendous. Kyle Kuzma even put up dub points. He was a good supporter off the bench. And Anthony Davis, LeBron James, they were just on fire, man. These 2 guys right here, they are capable of leading this Lakers team
LeBron wasn't on fire. LeBron shot terrible in this game.
Well, I'm saying both of them. LeBron had a good serviceable game. He had a bad shooting night, but his serviceable, it was still accepted. And Anthony Davis, he shot better than LeBron from the 3-point. 40% compared to 31%. So I think this LA Lakers team, man, they're ready. They're getting better.
So you know, it's funny because this is a team that you said was loaded. You said this Lakers team was loaded. I remember. I'm young enough to remember a time where you said that this Lakers team is loaded. You said that on a few shows back. Remember that?
Yeah, because top 5 players in the NBA.
Right, but after LeBron and Anthony Davis, there is a significant drop-off. I told you this. But look, this is the thing I want to say too. One of the things that I also noticed after watching that game last night, Anthony Davis went scoreless in the fourth quarter. Clarence, that cannot happen if the Lakers want to have any chance of beating the Clippers once these games start mattering in the playoffs. You need to have Anthony Davis assert himself and be aggressive for the Lakers to have any chance. Because I think Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, they match up well with LeBron. LeBron is 35 years of age. I'm just looking at down the road, at some point, you're going to need Anthony Davis to assert himself and be more aggressive on the offensive end for the Lakers to have even a chance. That's just even having a chance. And let's not forget, Montrezl Harrell is a physical defender. And I think Montrezl Harrell would have made things a little bit more difficult on AD. He might not have had 34 if Montrezl Harrell would have played. He might have had 24, 25, but he might not have had 34. So what happened? So what happened in the first 3 matchups when the Lakers and Clippers played against each other and Anthony Davis didn't show up in those fourth quarters? What happened?
What happened? They got the W at least. They got the W in them 3 and out of them games. But I think
they got the W. Before last night, they had beat the Clippers 1 out of 3. You remember the Clippers were up 2-1. You know, so what I'm saying is Anthony Davis so far in these fourth quarters of these games, he hasn't asserted himself. He hasn't really made plays for his team to win. So I think last night, if Montrezl Harrell would have showed up and would have played, I don't think Anthony Davis would have had 34 points because he was scoreless in the fourth quarter and Montrezl Harrell wasn't even playing.
I think for Anthony Davis, he's getting used to the feeling of playing important deep games and games that's gonna be mattering. And like you said, he was scoreless in the fourth quarter, and that's big. When your top superstar is scoreless in the NBA, it turns your team to a one-dimensional team. It really does. But luckily, LeBron James came in the clutch and did it again. And that was gonna lead us to our next question, though, Trey. Who do you trust more in the clutch, LeBron or Kawhi? As you see last night, Kawhi had the opportunity to hit the game-winner shot or go ahead bucket, but then he gave it away and gave it to Paul George. Paul George obviously had the hot hand. So yeah. Who you giving the ball to in the clutch time?
Well, I want to say this real quick. I actually want to give LeBron some credit because I thought, although he didn't shoot well last night, he really played sensational defense late in that game. He guarded on that last play of the game. Kawhi had the ball at first, and LeBron was guarding Kawhi. Then they switched. LeBron guarded Paul George, made the shot tough on Paul George to be able to hit. So LeBron, throughout these last, I would say 3 or 4 years, I've been critical of LeBron, Clarence, talking about how he doesn't play defense anymore. But last night, when the game was on the line and all the chips was forward and it was a play needed to be made, LeBron James showed up defensively and he got stops when he needed to for his Lakers. So I'm gonna give him credit on that because he really, really showed up on the defensive end of the floor. And I don't know what the Clippers were thinking on that play when LeBron missed that shot, got his own putback. I don't know what they were thinking. Like, what are you doing?
A high motor, what type of he got? He got like a high motor that allows him to keep going and going even through the clutch time. And for them to be slacking and lazy off that rebound, LeBron got that putback. That just shows you who wanted it more in that game.
Yeah, I agree. But I want to say this. I think I'll get to that in a second. To answer your question, who do I trust more in the clutch, LeBron or Kawhi moving forward? I'm going to trust Kawhi Leonard. Now, last night, yes, because I believe that Kawhi Leonard offensively right now at this moment in his career is a better offensive player than LeBron is as far as being able to score. If I need a bucket, I'm giving the ball to Kawhi Leonard because Kawhi Leonard can hit the mid-range shot. He also can hit the three-point shot as well, get to the free throw line, and hit free throw shots. I trust Kawhi Leonard more than I trust LeBron in late game situations at the free throw line. So if I need a clutch shot, I'm picking Kawhi over LeBron because I think he has a better all-around offensive game as far as being able to score the basketball. He's not a better playmaker than LeBron, but he's a better scorer than LeBron at this point in his career. So I'm picking Kawhi in a clutch moment. Don't get fooled off last night. Last night was just one game.
Look, playoff LeBron is different. He a whole different breed. I respect the man. And I've just seen this man do a lot of amazing stuff in the playoffs that he hitting game winners to eliminating players. So I'm taking LeBron James on this one because these are the situations that he has been in before, that he's used to, that he knows from the back of his head. Like the back of his hand, he knows these type of situations we get himself into. And I think his playmaking ability will kick in when it's playoff, when it's for the basket. But I think for LeBron, he's more capable of hitting the clutch shot because it was numerous times. It's actually proven that he hit any type of shot for the game winner any way it goes. Like we can date back to 2014. 2013 or 14 when he hit the go-ahead layup bucket against Paul George when he was with the Pacers. Remember he hit a three-pointer on the Pacers, like from 2018. Like this guy is clutch. I think everybody need to start giving this man his respect because he had moments when he came clutch for his team and won the game. I'm definitely taking
you giving him a lifetime clutch award. This is right now. This year in the bubble, who do you trust to make a clutch shot? LeBron or Kawhi? Not back from 2014. I'm not saying LeBron hasn't hit no big shots in his career. I'm talking about this year.
No, that's what I'm saying. I mean, the ones he hit in the past, you can that helps my argument. Like he's capable of hitting game winners. And for this bubble, I'm taking LeBron James because at the end of the day, he knows the shot. He knows what's important, what's at stake, and I think he gonna have the hot hand. And when LeBron get hot, it gets crazy.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. Now I'm gonna go. I got one more thing I want to talk about this particular topic, and I want you to follow off my lead on this because we didn't get a chance to come on Monday and talk about Lou Williams. So everybody knows the story by now. Lou Williams obviously went to Atlanta. He went to a funeral of a family member that passed away, and then he decided to go to Magic City and get some wings and some legs and see some thighs and stuff like that. So we already know the story surrounding Lou Williams, going to Magic City, which is a gentleman's club in Atlanta, in the A. I've been there, Clarence. So I want to say this before we even go any farther, okay? Because I want to ask you a question about who do you think took last night's game more serious, the Lakers or the Clippers? But before we get into that, I want to say something about Lou Williams. Listen, Clarence, I've been to Magic City. Them wings is good. Listen, I've been there. They good. They are good. They off the chain, man. You got to go when you go to Atlanta, go to Magic City and get some of those wings. Listen, everybody been making a huge deal about Lou Williams going to Magic City to get those wings at a gentleman's club. And I think that this has been completely overblown, Clarence. It's been completely overblown. I have no problem and no issue with Lou Williams going to Magic City to get some wings and have a little fun, have a little more fun and a little more recreational activities at Magic City. I have no problem with it. Okay, listen, it's not going to affect his team winning the championship. He's going to miss the first two games. I think like when he comes back, after he gets on quarantine for 10 days, he's going to miss 2 games after that. I don't think this is going to impact the Clippers championship aspirations. I think the Clippers are going to be just fine, and I have no problem with Lou going to Magic City to get some of the wings that are named after him. He has a dish at Magic City, Clarence, that's named after him. It's called the Sweet Lou Wings at Magic City. If I got some wings named after me and I'm in that particular city, I'm probably gonna go get me some as well. I had no problem with Lou Williams. I think it was completely overblown. The media just took the story and ran with it. I didn't have no problem with it.